How are you all today? Good. Well, before we begin, I have a few announcements to make. This Thursday, we are going to have live Birds of Prey here at the library at 2 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be really cool. No, on Thursday at 2 o'clock. And then on Friday, we're going to have an actor coming by the library. He's going to pretend to be Benjamin Franklin. So if you want to know more about Benjamin Franklin, come on by at Friday at 2 o'clock. And next week, a week from today, we're having a very special performance at Shannon Johnson Elementary. It's going to have tons of seating, and it's called Dancing Wheels. It is a premier dance studio that incorporates people who have disabilities and people who don't dancing together. So it'll be really cool. So if you want to come by and watch that, it'll be a great performance.
It's at a special location.
Yeah, it's at Shannon Johnson Elementary. Yeah. Okay, and without further ado, I would like to introduce Jason Lindsay with Hooked on Science. Let's give him a round of applause.
How is everyone? Are you having a fantastic summer? Yeah. It's all about building a better world here at your library this summer. Who has read the most books so far? Who has read more than 100 books this year? You have? Good job. Pretty close to it, right? By the way, we're going to do all kinds of science experiments today. If you want to learn more by reading, you can go to the 500 section here in the library. Your librarian or someone here at the library will direct you in that location. That's where all the nonfiction science books are. We'll talk a lot about building up pieces to make science, including atoms and molecules and polymers. We're going to build a foam monster that will eat a kindergartner. Any kindergartners in here? Okay. Second, you beat it. That's good. No, it will not eat anybody, I promise. We're going to turn a potato, a copper pipe, and a dowel rod into a potato launcher and launch potatoes at the librarian. Is that him over there? Okay, now we got to do safe science. We're going to make a baby bottle explode. We are going to skewer a balloon, talk about this Hoberman sphere, all kinds of fun stuff. Here's what I expect of you. If you hear me say 3, 2, 1, 0, I expect you on your bottom, crisscross, hands in your lap. Eyes on me, 0, please. I do expect you to get excited. That's cool. But I do also expect you to learn something today. So when you hear me say 3, 2, 1, 0, crisscross, hands in your lap, eyes on me, all that good stuff. Make sure that you always have an adult around before you do science experiments. Make sure you never eat your science experiment unless it's supposed to be, it's an edible experiment. Oh, don't let your dog either. Okay, they might explode. Cat, pet roach, fish, whatever it might be. Kangaroo, I have one at my house too. Yeah. Giraffe, I have one of those too. Any animal should not be eating your science experiment unless it's an edible science experiment. Make sure you wear the appropriate safety gear and you can pick your nose as often as you want while doing science. Okay? Now, let's start with matter. Anybody want to tell me what is matter? You are in 5th grade. You went over this in Kentucky schools last year in the 4th grade. What is matter? Actually, with our new science standards, it's 3rd and 5th, but by 4th, you should have mastered what I'm talking about. Yes? Well, not just natural, but everything that we encounter every day in our life is matter. It's anything that takes up space and has mass. Anything that takes up space and has mass. There are 3 main states of matter. What are they? Anybody know? 3 main states of matter. You're one of them. You're called a solid. Then we have toilet water, which is a liquid. And then we have the air around us, which is a gas. There's 2 other states, Bose-Einstein condensate and plasma. But we'll focus on the main 3. With that in mind, I have a balloon. It's a white balloon. Is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? My balloon. It's a solid, right? Mommy. The breath that I have in my mouth, it might be smelly, but it is considered a gas. I'm going to inflate my balloon. I'm going to make it gigantic. You think that's enough? So the smallest piece of matter, what is it called in science? It might be someone's name at your school. Smallest piece of matter, it starts with an A. It is called an atom. Yes, good job. You put together atoms, you get molecules. You put together molecules, you get polymers. Why is that important? Because we're building up science to create a better world. If it was not for polymers, you would have problems with your water bottle, because your water bottle is made out of polymers, a bunch of molecules linked together. Your bouncy ball, made out of polymers. Plastic chairs, polymers. My balloon, polymers allow me to do that without it popping. There are natural polymers like your slobber in your mouth. How about you show me a natural polymer? Take your finger and pull out a booger. Yes, that's a natural polymer. It's stretchy, it's gooey, and some of you like to eat them. I will tell you this, they tested kindergartners in Canada, and those kindergartners who ate their boogers were healthier than those who did not. It's gross, but talk to your mom and dad before you eat your boogers, okay? Now, my balloon, is it big enough? Yeah. Is that big enough? No! Oh, that's big enough. Okay, I'm going to tie a knot at the end of it. If I don't know what matter is, I describe it by its observable properties. So, I don't know his name, so I might say the kid in the white shirt, the orange socks, the smelly feet. Did you get smelly feet? No, is that just me? No. So, I don't know what this is. Let's pretend like. How would I describe it? It's shaped like a sphere. Thank you. It's shiny here, but if I turn it this way, it looks not the. What's the opposite of shiny? Well, not dark. The opposite of day is dark, or light is dark. What's the opposite of shiny? It's not dirty. Clean, dirty. Dull. Thank you. Yes. It's dull down here, but shiny here. Where it's dull, the molecules are linked together like this to create the polymer. They're holding hands like this. Where it's shiny, they're holding hands like this. They're about to break apart. So if I take this sharp object called a skewer and stick it through where it's shiny, that's going to force them apart and the balloon will pop. If I go where it's darker, like this, and the skewer goes in where it's darker, it should link up around it, holding hands tight, and the balloon should not pop. By the way, parents, moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, if you brought a kid today, take as many pictures as you can. Post those pictures and comments at the Facebook page. Look for Hooked on Science on Facebook, and I'll enter you into a drawing for a free science kit. Not a kid, but a kit. Okay? So I'm going through the bottom. Yeah, we can't give away science kits. No, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Have you ever heard that saying? No. You do have chickens? They produce milk, right? No? Cows produce milk. I say that because the other day I was at a school and the middle schooler told me that chickens create milk. I don't know if they were joking or if they were just a city kid or not. Okay, so I'm speaking my balloon. The air is not coming out. I am working on being a Jedi. In other words, the other day I picked up a kindergartner all the way to the ceiling, I bowered, and then dropped them back. They're okay though, I promise. I want to try to control this balloon with my hand. You think I can do it?
Yes.
Hold my hand and...
Balancing it.
Oh, so you're saying I don't have the force then? Nope. Let's try again. Here's my hand. Oh, wait a minute. He is right. What? So you're telling me that just about everything in this world that we encounter can be explained with science? Yeah, I agree. Now, there are some things, and doctors will even tell you miracles do happen. But in most cases, we can explain everything with science. And that's the case here. Gravity is pulling down equally everywhere. The air is pushing up against the sides of the balloon as well. And I'm finding my center of gravity. I'm going to look for a kid helper here in a few seconds. Here's how I select my helpers. Crisscross, hands in your lap, eyes on me. Listening. Let's see. Boys, we're always supposed to let girls go first. Open the door for them. Give up your seat to them. It's not just a boy-girl thing. It's a life thing. We're all different, right? We all smell different. We look different. Our feet are bigger than some other people's. Our ears are bigger sometimes. My nose is big. In a few minutes, I'll prove it to you because I'll balance this on my nose. We just got to be nice to each other, right? I know that. Okay, I think my helper will be... Yeah, come on up. First, I'm going to try to balance it on my big nose. Try it. 3, 2, 1. Ah! 3, 2, 1. Think I'm enjoying the science circus. What do you think? Should I?
I can't believe that you actually have the horse.
A horse? What?
The horse.
Oh, I do have the
He doesn't have the horse.
Ready for this? What's your name? Okay, I want you, Raleigh, to hold out your hand like you're going to give me 5. We're going to place this in the palm of your hand. You're going to use your left hand, 2 fingers, and hold it just like that. Okay? Balance it. Now, remember, you got to move with it. You can't just stand in one spot. It's like walking your pet dog. Okay? Now, remember, use your other hand to hold it. Okay? Well, like this. And when you're ready, let go. You got to let go with this hand. Okay, go, 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 go. Good job. One more helper. Let's see, I need a boy helper. How about you over there? What's your name? Caroline. Oh, I'm joking. Caleb, you gave me that look. Come stand right over here. Turn around. Show everybody your face. Smile. Say science is awesome. I pick my nose often. Oh, say that. Put out your hand. Like this. Ready? Go. Go. Gotta walk with it. One more time. Step back here. Walk with it. Center of gravity. And go. Good job. Watch this. I'm gonna take this skewer out. What?
No, you're not holding it. Yeah, you're holding it, but...
Okay, it can't be magic. We're not in the magic show. We're in the science show, right? So what's happening is this. Remember I told you down here where it's darker, the molecules were linked together like this. They were holding hands like this. What's happening is they're still holding hands and they're linking, they're sealing up the hole. It will still go flat eventually, probably faster than a balloon that has not had a screw in it, but it will be slow. Okay, it will be slow. Let's put this over here and move on to our next experiment. I better put it over here. It won't be disruptive. Our next experiment has to do still with matter, anything that takes up space and has mass. We said the smallest piece of matter is an atom. You put together atoms, you get molecules. Put together molecules, link them together, and you get polymers. I have 2 liquids in 2 containers. One is darker than the other. Remember, I'm describing it by its observable properties.
Is that sulfur?
It is not. That's a gas, and that makes your voice the opposite of helium. I do not encourage you to put any kind of gases other than the air that we're breathing in this room and outside in your lungs, by the way. Some scientists will breathe in sulfur hexafluoride and helium to make your voice change. That's not good because that replaces the oxygen which your brain needs, and that's not good. So always just breathe in the air that you need to breathe in around. Nothing else. Darker color, I'm going to pour some into my container here. It's gotten a little crusty. Let's see if I can open it up. Big science muscles, right? This is called poly A. And then poly B we're going to mix together. That's the actual science name that we call it. Pour some at the bottom here. Okay. Kind of looks like corn syrup, doesn't it?
I wonder if it tastes like corn syrup.
No, it doesn't taste like corn syrup. This is one of those things you don't eat or drink your science experiments. And then I'm going to pour some of this in. And then we know that a change happens in science because we use our senses. We might smell something, taste something, if it's safe to taste, hear something, feel it, it gets hot or cold, or see something. Using your senses, tell me if you see a reaction happening. When we use those senses and observe that, that's typically called a chemical reaction, especially when you get something new that you didn't have before. I'm going to mix this 100 times. Nine 100. Uh-oh, this has never happened before. This is a foam monster. Whoa, that was close. Okay, so we went from a liquid to a solid. I need a kid helper. How about him? Yeah, you. What's your name? Aiden? Dayton. Like Dayton, Ohio? Okay. And what grade are you in? Yes, 5th graders smell like broccoli, and I thought I smelled broccoli. Touch the sides for me. Is it hot or cold? Okay. It's hot. Anybody know what we call a chemical reaction that's hot? Other than being amazing science, right? Exothermic. It gives off heat. Thermic means heat. Exo means outside. Endothermic is the opposite. It would be cold. So we went from a liquid to a solid. So liquid to solid. Yeah, see, it's on there. No, it's actually foam is what it is. I will be giving this away too. All you got to do is go like the Hooked on Science Facebook page. We're close to 19,000. We got about 18,900. So make sure you go like that page. And leave your pictures and your comments, and I'll do a drawing for this in a science kit. I'll leave this with the librarian, but he or she, whomever that might be that's in charge of keeping this, they will have to keep it in a lock and key situation because it comes alive at night. Especially during a full moon. We have a full moon right now, don't we? Anybody noticed the full moon recently? If you stepped outside? It's called the full buck moon. That's whenever the buck, the male deer's antlers are rapidly growing. And that's why they call it that. Those antlers are what hunters will count come the fall. When they go hunting, they want more points on.
Is that the kind of foam that'll start evaporating? It'll start with just getting destroyed as you put that nail polish remover?
Acetone. It probably will. It will dissolve it. It will dissolve it.
So long, like 4 hours, it will collapse.
Well, it will collapse. It'll still be a liquid. We always talk about styrofoam and how it's bad for the environment when we do that. Because you can take a styrofoam cup and drink out of it, but then you put it in the trash and it's still there 100 years later. It does not break down. Even when you put acetone in it, you still have a globular mess that looks like all your cereal that's been left in the cereal bowl by Sunday morning. You need to clean up your mess and kind of glue, all that together. Yeah, pretty interesting. Let's move on to our next thing. So far, we've kind of proved that matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. We went from a liquid to a solid. This is a chemical reaction. The opposite is a physical reaction. That's if we take and just cut off her ponytail here. That would be a physical reaction. It's still hair, whether it's on her head or off. She may have a new hairdo, but fashion doesn't count in the science world, okay, overall. So that would be a physical reaction. Let's move on to the next thing. What else do I have up here? I have a baby bottle. In my baby bottle, I have some water. Now this is recycled toilet water. But anytime you drink water out of the faucet or the water fountain, it is recycled toilet water. You knew that, right? Yeah. Right. And you do know the water that you drink today, most likely the dinosaurs drink. Because, how do we know that? Because of the water cycle, yes. We keep using that water over and 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 over again. Whether it be 1,000,000 years ago or tomorrow. It's always used over and over again. So inside I have some water. I need 2 kid helpers. Who should I select? Let's see. How about this guy in the blue shirt right here? And let's pick a girl now. A girl helper. How about her with that big blue bow on her head? Come on up here.
No!
I have two daughters who are big into dance, and they're always wearing these bows. They call them JoJo bows. Does that make sense? Is that the popular trend right now? Do you have any JoJo bows?
No.
Neither do I. Okay, so I'm going to have you put two in your hand, and you put two pieces. These are called Alka-Seltzer. When you add water to Alka-Seltzer, you get a chemical reaction. That chemical reaction creates something new. Can you see that something new? Let's see. Let's put it to the test. Add a little bit of water. Do you see the new thing? Put it on there. Do you see the new thing yet? Can you see it? You can see the new thing?
Oh, wow.
He has special matter eyes. Those are goggles he has that allow him to see certain kinds of matter, right? Oh, speaking of goggles, make sure you put these on. There was that one kid, we just can't talk about him. That, obviously, I'm joking. These should go right on top of your glasses. These are a little more scientific. There we go. Can you still see me? How many fingers do I have? Oh, no, 4 fingers in the thumb. Oh, pick that up. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Drop yours in. Drop yours in. Quickly, 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 quickly. I'm going to screw the top of the bottle on just like this. Okay, you start by doing that, just side to side. See if you observe everything. Make sure they can see your face. Turn this way.
I don't want them to get broken.
Okay, do you notice anything?
What was going on?
Do you notice anything? That is the rubber part of the balloon. It expanded because the new thing that we got, which I said he couldn't see, and that was the gas. Carbon dioxide gas was created in our bottle, and it made the rubber part of the bottle expand. And when I released it, jumped out of your skin over there. So we had a gassy bottle, right? Okay, I'll take your goggles. I'll take your goggles. Thank you so much. So we got something new. We call that a chemical reaction. If I just break the Alka-Seltzer, that's a physical reaction. But if I add water to it and I get something new, and how did I prove that I got something new? It was a gas, and it expanded the rubber part of the bottle. 3, 2, 1. We know that scientists use something called the scientific method. We have a question, we come up with a hypothesis, we design the experiment, we do the experiment, we collect data, then we come to an ending. It's called the scientific method. That's how you know you're doing a science experiment. If you're not following those steps, you're not doing a science experiment. Now an engineer, which is a scientist, actually uses something called the engineering design process. How many of you brushed your teeth this morning? Anybody in here? Hopefully all hands went up. Should be brushing your teeth first thing in the morning when you get home from school before you go to bed. You want to save those chompers so that when you turn 180, you still have your teeth, right? Make sure you take good care of them. The very first toothbrush was made out of hairs from a hog. Because of the engineering design process, the toothbrush got better. Because of the engineering design process, I now have a computer in my pocket. A smartphone. Okay? But I can do everything on this that I can do on my computer. It's just a small screen. And I've seen some people with screens the size of computers on their phones. So, bottom line, the very first cell phone got better. Here's the engineering design process. Eyes on my finger. Step number 1, you have an idea. You do research, like at the library, by reading a book. Don't go to Google just yet. Read a book first. Then, ask an expert. After that, you create a drawing of what you want to create. Then you create a prototype. Test it, make it better. iPhone 3, created it. Test it, make it better. iPhone 4. This goes on. I'm going to make a potato launcher.
What?
I have 2 important pieces. A copper pipe and a dowel rod. And a potato. Is a potato a fruit or a vegetable? It is a vegetable. How do I know the difference? It's a fruit if it starts out as a flower and ends up with something that has seeds in it. So that makes squash a fruit. That makes green beans a fruit. That makes peas a fruit. That makes pumpkins a fruit. The only time that it is a vegetable is if it is the root, the stem, the bud of the plant, or the leaf. So a carrot is the root. That means it is a vegetable. Celery is the stem. That makes it a vegetable. Potato, part of the root, which makes it a vegetable. I'm going to stab my potato with my copper pipe. Okay, so I've got a piece of potato inside. Tell me if you hear anything. Reminds me of next year's program that I'm going to have called The Sounds of Science, because next year's theme is all about sounding. It is. What makes sound? We'll learn more about that next time. Another piece of potato. So I have 2 pieces of potato inside of my copper pipe. Everybody agree? So there's air, matter trapped in between the 2 pieces. Everybody agree with that? What happens to the air as I squeeze the pieces together? Ah, and what's going to happen to one of the pieces? It's going to fly out like that. Wow, well, we hear too much about guns in a bad way nowadays, so we'll call it a potato launcher. I need another helper, a kid helper. Let's see. How about this guy right here? What's your name? Tegan.
Hey, launch one at the styrofoam thing.
Do what now?
Launch one at the styrofoam.
Well, we want to make sure somebody gets to take that home later on, so we don't want to destroy it, right, Tegan? Yep. Okay, what grade are you in? He's in what, preschool? No? What grade are you in? Moving into 2nd grade. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's aim toward that direction over there. Okay, put one hand there, put another hand up here. Okay, 3, the librarian's over there. No. And yes, it did on the. I don't know how that happened. Yeah. No Windex will take that off. What is?
Because it definitely, because the molecules never line up.
Completely? Well, if you go touch it though, it exhibits properties of a solid overall. I do need a kid helper. You go ahead and sit back there. No! We had a boy, let's pick a girl. How about her? Another piece of potato inside of my potato launcher. And then we're going to put this in here. And there we go. That goes pretty far, doesn't it? Now, if you're going to build this at home, launch it in the living room. That's a TV, right? Obviously, no. Always have an adult around. Make sure you wear the appropriate safety gear.
Hey, you'll get a bunch of these.
Okay, how could I make this better? That's what this is about, using the engineering design process to build a better potato launcher.
Put more potatoes.
More potatoes inside? That's your hypothesis? What do you think?
Well, maybe put 2 at the end and 1 at the bottom to make them both come out.
And that would make them both come out? Okay, anybody else have a different hypothesis? How about you? Aim, okay. What do you think, sir? So he says add more. Most kids think more is better. And that's not always. That's not always. Less is better in some cases. I need another kid helper. How about him with the camouflage shirt on there? I almost didn't see him. He was blending in. What's your name? Aiden. How old are you, Aiden? 6? Yes, you look like a 6-year-old. Guess how old I am? 18? Very close. I'm 40, actually. 3, 2, and 1. There it goes, right over there. Pretty cool. Now, don't forget to pick those potato pieces up for me before you leave today. Hit me with a piece of potato.
Is this safe to
So-
launch it, friends?
No, it is not. Only launch it in an area. You notice I noticed there were no people over there, so I launched it over there, over there, over there, just to different spots. I'm not aiming at anyone. We don't use science to harm or hurt anyone. We make sure that we're friendly to everyone, including the ant walking across the floor there. Okay? Overall. 3, 2, 1. If you can hear my voice, touch your nose. If you can hear my voice, hand on your head. Crisscross, backs are straight, hands are in your lap, eyes are on me. Good job. We've really mastered matter, scientific method, engineering, design process. We can even talk about force. We applied a force there, which is a push or a pull that made our potato launch across the room. And then we put it into motion when we applied enough force, right? Let's move on to our next thing. And that has to do with this. You know that it's shaped like Earth or a basketball. You don't want to bounce this, though. This is called a Hoberman sphere. This Hoberman sphere, once expanded, is just like a geodesic sphere. Basically, have you ever been to Spaceship Earth in Florida?
No.
It's part of, what is that amusement park that it's part of? You know? Epcot, right? All the pieces that are on Spaceship Earth, the tiles were made, guess where? In Kentucky. So the next time you're in Florida, remember something that was engineered that many people get to see every day around the world at Epcot was engineered right here in Kentucky. The tiles on Spaceship Earth. They were engineered over in western Kentucky in Benton. They actually set up a simulator that tested those tiles with hurricane force winds and temperatures of more than 200 degrees. Since that's what we could see, at least the humidity can make it feel like the heat index is near 200 in some cases. Watch this. Okay, keep expanding. Really? It expanded that much? Ah! And then I put it on my head, and it shrinks down. That's what's so unique about a Hoberman sphere. It can shrink down to a fraction of its size.
Where do you buy those?
This one, I found, I travel all across America doing science. I just got back from Utah and Nevada doing science. So as I'm traveling, I visit different teacher stores, and this was at a teacher store on clearance. And I was like, oh, I better get that. And I got, with this big here, not this big. I am looking for a kid helper who's on their bottom. Let's see. Who wants to put this on their head, who has not done anything yet? Oh, how about you? No? Okay. How about him over there in a yellow shirt? Come on up. In a few minutes, I'm going to let the preschoolers and kindergartners come up here, get in the middle of it, and see if they disappear. Okay, what's your name, sir? Paul. Okay, always face the audience. Make sure you have your face toward the audience. I'm going to put this on your head. Hold it with your hands, because it could be a little heavy. We don't want your head to fall off. Okay, so we got this gigantic Hoberman sphere on his head. We can expand it, make it bigger, just like this. There we go. You put it down. I think we should put the librarian's head in here and squeeze really hard. What do you think? Is that him over there in the green shirt? You don't want to come up? Oh, let's put this on your head. It won't hurt you. I'll try my head. Okay. We won't squeeze really hard. Look at that.
It is kind of heavy.
It is, yes. So should we squeeze really hard and let his brain come out of his nose? Like that? We can glue it back in. I'm sure they've got some stick glue around here somewhere. I need another kid helper who has not done anything. How about that guy in the blue shirt? Come on up. What's your name, sir? Riot? Wyatt. Sorry about that, Wyatt. I wasn't paying attention, was I? And you must be 13? 7. Okay, Wyatt. I'm going to put this on your head, and I'm going to hold it until you hold it. Okay, now can you hold it for me? Okay, turn around so Mom can get a good picture of your head being squashed. There we go. Got it? You feeling okay in there?
Yeah.
Okay. See if we can put Wyatt inside. Hold on, Wyatt. There we go. He's inside of a giant Hoberman sphere. Pretty amazing.
Close around his belly.
The last time I did that, we'll try it anyway. Okay, here we go. It's going, and are you okay? Yeah, it's yeah, nothing really.
It's a big ball like.
Okay, be very still, Wyatt. There we go. If you are in preschool or going into kindergarten, I would like for you to come see me. If you are in preschool or going into kindergarten, come get in the sphere. Get in there. If you're going into, oh, wait a second. Let the little ones get in there. Give them a chance. Come on, get in here, everybody. Well, not everybody, just preschoolers in kindergarten. Get in there. Get in there. Going into kindergarten. Going into preschool. Get in there. It won't collapse. I've got it fixed to where it won't collapse. Hey. Oh, come on in. Don't be shy. No rolling, boys. We don't need a group of kindergartners rolling across the locker. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take a cool picture. Everybody turn around and look at me here. Okay, can you see me? Okay. Everybody looking? Smile. Okay. Good job. Okay, I will go ahead and let you all, let's make them disappear. Go sit down. We're making them disappear. Here we go. Go sit down for me. Good job. I didn't count. How many do we have in there? 3? More than 3. Go sit down for me, boys. By the time I get to 3, 5, 4, 3, 2. Good job. 25. Awesome. Good job. Go ahead. Cool. No. Okay, in a few minutes, we might let a few more at the very end set in the middle of it as we take a selfie. It's 11:08, so we've got a good 15-20 minutes left. Let's move on to what I have next, and that is a giant bag. You put dirty diapers in it. It's called a diaper genie bag. I am looking for a kid helper. How about you? Have you done anything? No? You hold that?
One bag.
It's just one bag. Stand all the way back. There you go. Okay, so this is about 23 rulers. Go step over beside the lady with the blue shirt on. There we go. Don't step on the little thing. Okay, this is about 23 rulers. Hands in your lap, crisscross, eyes on me. How many, well, first off, this is the average length of an adult small intestine, unless you've had some removed. Where does digestion start at? Anybody have a hypothesis? Where does it start at? In your mouth. There's enzymes in your mouth that break down food. You swallow, it goes down a hollow tube called an esophagus. Then it goes to your stomach, which is about here under your left rib, going into your right. Your liver's over here. Then it goes into your small intestine. By the time the hamburger goes from here down to him, all the nutrients have been sucked out. And then next is your large intestine. They're large not because they're longer, but because they're wider. And it all has to do with water in the large intestine. And then you know what happens after that. So how many breaths of air will it take? Oh, this lady's convenient. Come on over here. What's your name, Miss Grace? Miss Grace, how many breaths of air will it take Miss Grace to inflate, blow up this bag? You know her more than I do. She's your mom, right? 99. She talk a lot or not? No, she doesn't. 99, he says. Who has a different hypothesis? Yes, sir?
If it's me, I should probably blow it up with 1.
1?
Like in 1 minute with an air compressor. But
Compressor? Well, she's only got her mouth and her lungs. I say she can do it in 5. What do you think, Miss Grace? Okay, so put your hand on there, put 5 breaths, just like that. Just 5 breaths in there. 1, 2, 3. You okay? 4, and 5. She did it, right?
No.
Let's see. You need help back to your seat? Can you make it? Let go for me, sir, but stay there because I'm still going to need your help. Just let go. There we go. This is 5 of Miss Grace's breaths. Not bad. The beginning stages of multiplication is learning to skip count. Okay? So once you learn to skip count, the next step is learning how to multiply. We usually do that 2nd grade the concept, 3rd grade we start memorizing multiplication tables. Let's count by 5s. You can count by 5s, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, so 50 breaths. If she can keep her breaths the same, which she won't be able to. You know that from running across the gym or the playground. Well, hopefully not across the library because you're not supposed to run the library, right? But you get the point. You lose your breath quick. Hold that for me. I'm going to do the same thing. Use the same smelly kid. Can you smell it? Or is that just me? I met a 3rd grader the other day who told me he did not change his socks for 3 weeks. Oh, that was pretty awesome. Don't you?
Yeah.
No?
I never changed mine ever because I wear flip-flops.
Oh, you wear flip-flops. I'm going to do the same thing she did except for one thing. Use your observation skills and tell me what I am doing different.
Making it bigger.
You can let go for me, sir. Let go. Thank you, sir. If you can hear my voice, touch your nose. Crisscross. Hands in your lap. Backs are straight. Eyes are on me. Hands in your lap. So, what did I do different? I did not put my mouth on the bag. Right? I told you earlier I visit, 500 schools a year? Libraries, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, churches, all over the United States. A lot of little mouths have been on that bag. Is that why I didn't put my mouth on the bag? Still not the case. I did not because I knew that as I put a ruler between my mouth and the bag, as my breath went into the bag, it would pull more air in with it. So put your hand about a foot away from your mouth. Hand about a foot away from your mouth. As you blow into the bag, the hand represents the bag, the air just sitting there gets pulled in with your air, creating a super breath. Can you do that if your mouth is on the bag? No. So you got to put that ruler between your mouth and the bag. I need a kid helper. You did a good job, by the way. How about this guy in the red shirt over here? Can you come up and help me? Come on up. We're going to hold it. Okay, just like this. Everybody stay on your bottom, and this could be a good picture opportunity. And just raise your hands in the air, but stay on your bottom, like you're going to touch it. Put your hands in the air. There we go. Hold it. It won't hurt you. Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that, sir. Good job. You did a fantastic job. So, what I can do is I can twist it off like this. And then see how far I can make it go. Down this aisle right here. Who says I can get to the yellow? Blue shirt, it might hit you in the head. You okay with that, sir? It won't kill you, I promise. And... You made it to the yellow! This guy in the white shirt's going to bring it back to me. Thank you, sir. Go ahead and bring that back up here. We made it go all the way to the back there. It's all about build. Oh, let's go this way. It's a little short now. You're good. Yeah, just pull a little harder. You get through there. Oh, you go the other way. There we go. Good job. Well, we don't want to pop it because we still got to do this program at the Richmond branch. So we got to make sure we keep all the ingredients, or at least most of them. One more experiment. Yeah, it's going to be the same program, and it's at 2, I think. I have to look. It's at 2, right? Yes, 2 o'clock. So it'll be about 2 to 2:45, 3-ish, somewhere around there. Okay, our last thing, and that has to do with using a toaster to create a hot air balloon. A toaster to create a hot air balloon. I have a very strong plastic bag. This is what you...
The rubber bean bag.
I have a very strong bag here that we might put leaves in or yard scraps. It has to be strong. That's key. My toaster has 4 slice opportunities for us. In other words, I can put 4 slices of bread in there. Never play with a toaster unless there's an adult around. Never stick any sharp objects in the toaster to get your bread out. Always have an adult there, please. Yeah, don't do that, please. So, my toaster is all about heat transfer. I can transfer heat. Now, we talk about this with energy in the 4th grade. It can be transferred one of 3 ways. What are they? How do we transfer heat? Who's in the 5th grade? Anybody in the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th?
I'm in the 6th.
We transfer heat through conduction, touching, convection, and I can go outside and the sun never touches me, but I get hot because the heat from the sun is heating me up through radiation. I'm going to use conduction especially here, to where the air molecules touch the hot coils, and that heat is transferred to the air, and then a convection current forms, and I'll be able to create my hot air balloon. I'm going to place this on top. I do need a kid helper who has not done anything. You have not been up here at all. You're being patient. How about that guy in the yellow shirt back there and this lady in the blue shirt over here? Could you hold one side, yellow shirt over there, and you're going to just hold this side right here. Okay? Just hold it down so it doesn't go into the air. You hold this side right here. Okay, so already the heat from the toaster, the coils in the toaster, they're bright red, I see them in there, is transferring the heat to the air through conduction. A convection current is forming inside, and we're getting ready to lift this off into the air. Will it bust through the ceiling and go to the outer space? Not strong. Let's scoot this over so that it's covering up the bottom. We're not losing any heat through the bottom. How long should we do it? Let's see. Go ahead and touch the side of it. Tell me, is it hot or cold? We're not ready yet. Their hands didn't melt. They're not going to melt at all. It's more like warm, he says. Yes. So, when we get enough heat in there, it should float to the ceiling. You go ahead and let go for me, both of you. You go sit back down. Good job. Okay, not yet. You've got to be patient. Science doesn't always happen the first time. The second time, and contrary to popular belief, the 3rd time is not always a charm. You think it's ready?
Yeah.
Oh no. There you go. I need another kid helper. Remember, it's all about making it better. So how could I change this to make it go higher? How about the guy in the pink shirt and the guy in the white shirt back there? He's got a Nike symbol on his shirt, and this guy's got green shorts on. Okay, I want you to hold down this side right here for me, sir. There we go. Now you might float in the air with it if you're not careful, okay?
Oh my God, I want to see that.
He weighs less than 50 pounds. We don't need any kids floating through the library. So, did you notice? 3, 2, 1. Hand on your head. Hands in your lap. Crisscross. Uh-oh. Our toaster says that it's done cooking. Okay, so remember, when you saw it go into the air, what did it do? It eventually tilted over, and what came out? The hot air. The key to making this go into the ceiling or hitting the ceiling is the fact that it has to be hotter on the inside than the outside. It's just like a real hot air balloon. Hot air balloons rise into the air because the air inside is hotter than the air on the outside. Do you think if we put more hot air on the inside it'll go higher? Possibly. What if we take pennies to the side of it, and that would add weight to it, and that would hold it down to keep it from tilting over? We're using the engineering design process. We're building not only a better world, but a better product that we can charge more for. Okay, let go. See? It's going to go. Ah, and there we go. Good job. You You may go sit back down. Fantastic
That's
job.
something I can do. Yeah.
Now, we have about 10 minutes left, and we're going to end with questions. Do you have any questions about anything that we did today? 3, 2, 1. Here's a question. How many library books are at your library? How many science books are at your library? You can give me an answer. I am not looking for a story. You know, one day a skunk broke into the library and ate 3 books. That's a story. Okay? I need a question that I can give you an answer for. What's your question, sir? Put your foot here and I'll tie your shoe while you're thinking of your question. Is that a question or a story? Think about it. Think about it. What are you going to say? So he says, what if I put a rocket on the bag? That might go into the ceiling, and we don't want to make a library, right? Any other questions out there? Questions start with who, what, when, where, why, how. Yes, sir. What's your question?
Why did they use the styrofoam when it was just
A chemical reaction happened, and it wasn't 2 acids. Well, I haven't truly tested them with pH paper to determine if it's an acid or a base, but I would assume they're more basic than acidic.
Did I have some of each?
Well, no, I can't because I don't have enough to give everybody something. So when I give away something, it has to be something for everybody, not just a couple kids overall. But you can always go with Mom and Dad to Loosen the Lab. That's where I ordered it from. Loosen the Lab is the website. Okay. Yes, what's your question, sir?
How do you make water?
Oh, how did I make the foam? Well, first off, what did I mix together? I mixed together this ingredient with this ingredient. And when I mixed them together, did you see a change happen? You did, a chemical change. This happens when Mom and Dad cook at home. They may fry bacon on the stove. Bacon changes color, it gets crunchy. That's a chemical reaction that's happening. You hear it sizzling. Now if I just break the bacon, that's a physical reaction. But we're talking about a chemical that's happening. It's burning it. What about when Mom and Dad mix together eggs and butter and sugar and milk and flour and they put it in the oven, you put icing on it and sing happy birthday when it's cooked. That's a chemical reaction that happens as well. What's your question, orange shirt?
Your orange shirt.
How did I make the baby bottle blow up, he says? Because if you have a baby brother or sister, and some of you do, your mom would not want to give them, or dad, this baby bottle because they would not get anything out of it. This baby bottle does not have a hole in the end of it. So that I could prove to you that when you add water to Alka-Seltzer, you get a chemical reaction that gives me a new gas. And that gas expanded so much so that it made the rubber part of the bottle expand drastically and quickly. What's your question, yellow shirt? It did change colors in the beginning, but not beyond this point. In the beginning, it went from what? Orange and a dark color to this creamy looking color up there.
I thought it was turning into ice cream and I figured it up.
That would be nice, right? We could all have a snack.
Can you put some colors in this?
You could put paint on it, or you could spray paint it, but in other words, it won't change anywhere from that. And food coloring, it wouldn't absorb enough, because it's still kind of got a coating on it to where it won't absorb it overall. Here's our last question. Yes, sir? Because it's a stronger bag, it's more of one that you might use in the yard versus in your trash can there at the house. So you have to get a stronger bag. If I left it on there long enough or it came back and touched the metal part of the toaster, it would melt. But we don't want it to do that. Yeah. Yes, you have a good question, I know. What is it? No? No? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I hope you had lots of fun. I will post some pictures at the Facebook page. Just look for Hooked on Science on Facebook. You post your pictures and or your comments. I'll enter you into the drawing. Let's make sure we're crisscrossed. Hands are in our laps. Eyes are on me. Now, eyes on the librarian.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming up today. Let's give Jason another round of applause.